You're up.
Thank you for your patience while I had a little difficulty getting
No
the
problem.
door.
Welcome to the January 22nd meeting of the Lyman Planning Board. This meeting will come to order. This is a public proceeding, and unless the board specifically votes to go into executive session, you have the right to hear everything that is being said and to look at all the exhibits that are offered. If the board votes to go into executive session, the reasons shall be stated. Please notify the chair if you are having difficulty seeing or hearing. This meeting is being digitally recorded and broadcast on YouTube. In each instance, burden is upon the applicant to demonstrate compliance with the provisions of the applicable ordinance or ordinances. After the board votes on the merits of each project, it will prepare a written opinion which will be forwarded within 7 days. The board works from a prepared agenda and will be considering this evening's items in the following order. Roll call. Then we'll have Danielle Marquis. Marquardt. 135 Shore Road, map 17, lot 57. Tom LaChance to discuss the request for best practice location for deck within shoreline. Number 2, Harbor Residential Subdivision, map 3, lot 87-3, and a portion of map 3, lot 87-2, Old Kennemuck Road, 9 residential lots, preliminary subdivision application reviewed. Review missing items from preliminary application. Number 3, set the agenda for the meeting on February 5th, 2025. Review the minutes, audio recording of the planning board hearing and meetings available to the town website. Review the meetings from January 8th. And any old business, which would be Carlisle Estate, Brooks Estates, map 4, lot 22, preliminary subdivision application. Would you please join me in saluting the flag of our country? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Long may she wave. Could we have a roll call, please?
Jim Rivard, Poor Farm Road.
Bill Single, 8 Single Lane.
Kelly Demers, 10 Partridge Way.
Cecile Dupuy, 53 Chapel Shores Road.
Kevin Vare, 64 Buckingham Pond Road.
Okay, we have a full, all the members present. Mr. LaChance, could you come up and present Danielle Marquardt's proposal for building a request for practical location of building a deck on Shore Road?
Sure. Tom LaChance, 41 Shore Road is my physical address. Do we go right through this checkoff list? Is that the way it works? Or what we're looking to do is currently right now there's uneven concrete around the left side of the property and all the way around the whole front of the property. We're looking to just put a 6x8 deck where the right side is by the doorway, on the left side of the property, and then a 12x24 deck on the front. With a staircase that goes down to eliminate, right now, I think there's 9 stairs of concrete that go down, and then an additional 3 or 4 more on the straight down the middle. And on the right, there's 4 steps, wooden rickety steps on the right. So we're looking to have the deck. So there's only actually, you go down the stairs to a platform to the level area, and then just have 3 steps, replacing those others with 3 new steps. So no earthwork really entails in this at all. We're just going right from the concrete. Everything pretty much there. As far as setbacks, we're not going any closer than anything that's permanently as a setback there right now. So like the stone wall is on the left side of the property. We're going to be inside of that stone wall, just where the concrete pads are.
So the concrete pads are not 75 feet from water right now. How far away from water?
They the front part is probably 77 feet or 75 in certain parts, but 77.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because the survey that we got, which was from 98.
Yeah.
Which was never signed and dated, notarized. They're not giving a dimension from the shortest point to the closest point. So we will need that.
Okay, and it's on there. You have it on page 1.
On the paperclip?
Yeah. On the paperclip, you have everything. You actually have one from Middle Branch with the survey. And actually, if you look at the diagram, see that jagged thing from that thing? That actually shows that we're only really increasing 16 square feet within the 75 feet of the high water mark.
My concern is making an illegal property more, in the non-conforming property more non-conforming by going 2 feet further out than is already existing.
Okay, and the reason why, we looked at the 10-foot, but this is their end game. They're about ready to retire, and to be ADA compliance, we need 3 feet on either side of the table from wall to edge. If we go 10 feet with the railings being put in, you're going to put yourself at about 8.5. So that's why it is pretty much proposed to definitely have the 12 feet. Currently, the owner just had hip surgery. And we did, almost all the new house on 49 Shore Road is ADA compliant.
Trying to make the property ADA compliant.
We're just making sure the deck is ADA, so you can come out of your house
Yeah.
and be able to sit on the deck and enjoy the lake. Your 30 feet regressed back on both houses on front of you are 30 feet ahead of the deck, the finished deck. So they're not you're not going out in front of them at all. You're still 30 feet behind both of them. I think that's really important.
Change the house.
What?
I said, you're not asking.
Not asking to change the house.
Can we go backwards?
Sure.
So you're looking at a 12 by 24 deck. So on this drawing, there's a black section.
Yep.
What is that?
That black section is all existing.
What is it?
It's all concrete.
Okay. And that's 75 foot.
And the stuff to the outside of that left side of black is a stone wall.
Okay. All right.
And then if you look at the front landing area where it says 3x4, that's all a concrete steps going straight down. And we're going to remove that bottom landing area.
Remove
To-
3x4
The 3
Yeah,
by-
remove that 3x4.
So you're going to take out in the landing 12 square feet.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not seeing the 75 feet on the survey, are you?
I couldn't find it. I zoomed in as much as I could.
Yeah,
Okay.
I tried to.
I did too.
Go on Google Earth, zoom down, go back in time and measure. And I think I came close to like 68 feet from the nearest portion in, which is where we have to go and we judge shoreline zone.
Right.
So if it zigzags, we got to take the narrowest point or the shortest point.
Okay. And I have it as 73 on that. So
So the 3 foot by 13 foot section of stairs, is that concrete, wood? What is it?
the 3x13?
Yeah.
Concrete.
Concrete, okay.
And you're not replacing any of that? or-
No.
Okay. The only thing you want to do is get rid of that existing roughly 6 by 6 by 7 and 9 by 6.5 existing concrete and put a 20 by 12 or 12 by 20 deck instead.
Do we have to remove it? I didn't want to disturb the turf. I mean, the area. So that's all.
That would,
I mean-
I think, would be under the purview of code enforcement office.
Because it's right over. It's still in the footprint. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like, I think all you're going to have to do is do 2 posts. You're going to just have to have the holes for this.
How high off the ground is this deck?
That deck would probably be 3.5 to 4 feet.
Kelly, on the measurement from the water's edge,
Mhm.
if the deck is cantilevered, does it go to the post or does it go to the edge?
Goes to the edge. Most.
Oh, so that gains. You're right. That'll gain a couple feet.
Well, no, because I was asking if it went to the post or if it went.
Right. He says it going to the deck, right?
To the most furthest protruding portion,
Okay. Okay.
just
all
like an
right.
overhang eave.
Right. That's the way we measured it. So, and I've measured it with a tape measure many times. So.
So
Horizontally.
Correct. Yep.
the stairs on the right side going down and down are going to stay. And they're concrete.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it just I don't know if you recommended to cover them perfect. They're not going to be usable. They're just, you won't be able to come off the deck and go right down those front steps anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a method to my question. If we're taking out,
Right.
putting back, can we do an equal amount?
That would
What we
eliminate.
Take out and then put back, is that a viable option to look at? We've done that before with others. We've taken from the
Yeah.
side, so I'm just saying, he's looking at 2 feet on a deck width. And if we're taking out these concrete steps or whatever it is on the right side, how many square feet is that?
The what?
The steps on the right-hand side that you're talking about.
Going
not
down?
using,
Yeah, so that's,
How many square feet is it?
well, you're looking at 48 square feet.
All right, and you're looking at.
Well, you got 3 by
40
13, no, I corrected. 39 plus 12, 51 square feet.
And you want to add.
48. So
square feet.
you're in
Yeah.
you're in the plus. We're in the -3. I just don't want to disturb. I mean, my profession is agronomy. I built dune grass. So turf management is everything. I don't want to actually just, taking up that concrete, you're disturbing that whole wall, you know what I mean, and everything. If we got to cover it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
That's-
what's going to be under the deck? You can.
All that concrete's going to stay just like it is.
Yeah, but I'm saying the side, if you do away with that and add it onto your deck to give you that extra 2 feet, it would be a trade-off.
Yeah, I thought the front part, that 3 by 13. That's where I was coming with my mouth.
Oh, okay.
You see, that's where I came up with the
Well,
51.
Well, even that's better because it's closer to the water.
Right. We're removing that closer to the water.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would be the am I correct, Rebecca? If he takes out an equal amount closer to the water to extend his deck 2 feet to stay ADA compliant, would that be a fair trade-off?
So if we're talking lot coverage, absolutely,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah.
fine. It's just I don't have the authority to let him have anything closer than 75 feet,
Right.
even if it's cantilevered. I
We,
don't know
we,
that it would
I'm
be-
thinking back in some other projects that we took a deck off on the side and with the other things done, they were able to put it on the front because they moved the house back.
They didn't go any further.
I agree, but what I'm looking at here is that 3 by 13 in the front.
And the 3 by 4.
4 is very close to the water.
Mm-hmm.
If he takes that all out, can we do that 2 feet? That's
The
the
first
big
thing we
question.
need is a survey showing where the line is.
No,
We have something that says 75 feet, but from which point?
Yeah.
And it's,
Do you have somebody that did the survey with?
Yeah, but Brad Lodge is just retired. So he's, so,
Somebody's probably gonna take that over.
right. But this property also was done. I can look into use. If you look at, let's see. David Hughes out of Guinea Road in Kennebunkport. Okay. He did the one on the purchase of the property, but it's technically, he stamped and sealed it with the state of Maine, but up on the top, they wrote in little thing, this is not a boundary survey. You know what I mean? So that's why I had to get a hold of Brad to actually
yeah, they
get the other one.
C survey, which is basically a rough boundary sketch.
Yeah.
The other thing, if you were looking at lot coverage, I noticed that storage shed they have per the survey
Yeah, that's,
encroaches, and it probably.
yeah, that's how I lost mine. Yeah. I'm saying right here, if you're talking about being closer, if we took that 51 feet out of the front right there, it'll be more than we're adding to add that little bit that's within the 75 feet of water.
We do need the survey pieces though. to
Yeah.
say.
And,
And that would be really helpful.
Okay.
because if you're back 77 feet from the closest, build your deck.
Right.
But if you're 72 feet,
Right.
and you're 3 feet too
Right.
close,
I'm saying we're 73 right now.
Yeah.
So
and one of the things we're.
that's why I'm saying, that's why I added 2 right across the board. Even though from that point, that's the narrowest point to 73 feet, it'll spider off and be set 76 at the corners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why it only adds between 16 and 19 square feet of adding that 2 feet out.
I've seen decks though that have an angle on the front.
Oh, God, yeah.
Those foot
Right.
setbacks.
House additions that have to go at an angle for the standards.
Right.
We didn't go just down the road, but they were going through the route, but the pond cut in the side of their property line.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, you're only this far away.
From the nearest point, correct. Yeah.
So, if you can get that to us and it says 77 feet,
Yeah.
we'll love it.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's going to say 73. So that's why I'm here to do this whole thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it was 77 feet, I would have done it with Rebecca. We wouldn't be at this meeting board.
I think that's our biggest thing is just going, who's gonna put their name, their reputation on the line, saying it's this far.
Right.
We need that.
Right.
It's, other than that, sounds like they want to.
So another thing, I mean,
So then if we do that, then I'm not going to take apart remove that part. Just going to stay with that removal of the 3x4. I mean, this is why I came here to see, you know, I mean,
but-
willing to get rid of that 3x13.
But let's say, for instance, the left-hand side of the deck is too close, but the right hand is not.
Yeah, that's
You can
exactly-
Still angle it.
Yeah, but then,
I realize
Yeah.
that, but I'm just saying, you should look at it,
Yeah.
just to look at it.
Yeah.
See what it is.
okay.
The other option is, because if it's ADA, you could go before the Board of Appeals and get a variance.
That's
Yeah.
true. That is true.
Yeah, I don't want to get that. Then I'm going to be building a ramp all the way down to the front of the water, and yeah, we don't want to be doing that route. It'll look like a sight for everybody.
Didn't they change 88 and 8 to 12 pitch?
Well, it's 1 inch every 6 feet.
I heard they went to 1/8. So to get 1
One
inch,
inch.
you gotta go
8 feet. Yeah, that's what I mean. So you'd have to go
Which-
down this way
yeah,
and then
it's
back this way
ridiculous.
and back that way.
I remember building 88 stairs.
I'm just trying to do it right. I know for a fact it's going to be 73. So I'll go get the thing that someone can stamp that says 73. But where are we going to be? If you get that, then it's all set to go to Rebecca. Is that what?
We can look at it. We can try to do what we can.
Yeah. Then we'll do a sidewalk. Well, is it? That's
So we're going to spend $250 more for a sidewalk. We spent $700 on doing this and doing the thing with DEP. I mean, for a deck.
It's, if it wasn't shoreland and we didn't have strict regulations that says, 75 feet is the magic number.
All right. I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
saying
I
this
know
is
you
no,
try to do
I'm
ADA.
doing it the right way. I don't, you guys, I'm just saying, people
Appreciate it.
around me aren't going to want it going the other way when I go work with DEP because I've worked with DEP. I don't want to do that. So if that's the way,
Sadly, it's the rules we gotta play by.
No exceptions.
Is that shed actually down by the water?
That's right at the water's edge.
Yep.
Because if you look at the survey, you'll see it encroaches probably by 2 to 3 feet over the line,
Does it?
and it's like 10 feet from the water, maybe. If that.
Probably been there since
Right.
when the 70s, 60s.
yeah,
It's
it's
been
probably
forever.
before mine. They were all pump sheds originally. So
Yeah, I'm sure they
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
We looked
Yeah,
at the
it's a mistake I did
files.
when I bought my
It's
house.
like in the mid-70s. That
That's,
was before the ordinance.
yeah.
okay, so where do I go from here? You'll get that, and I'll have that to you by Friday. But so where do I go after that? I got to come back here again.
We'll look at it.
We'll be here 2 weeks and, or whatever, and plan a site walk and take a look at it.
Okay.
Do you want it, can you set the sidewalk before
Site walk.
the next meeting?
I think it's
I don't-
The less
upsetting.
snow, the better.
very upsetting.
Just to keep things moving, I don't know, I'm just
We're
asking.
we're doing
Doing
Saturday,
on Saturday at
Saturday.
11 over.
but we have to post it though.
It's gonna be posted, and
Do you
Do you really wanna be drilling down through frozen snow to put in your post. He's like, I gotta.
No. I'm just saying, no, that's not the issue. It's like,
So it's
I mean,
not-
coming back here
it's
again
not
and then
gonna
again
hold-
and again,
but
it's like,
It's not gonna hold you up a couple of weeks.
no. Again, it's just my time that I'm helping out a neighbor and no.
I
You know what they
think it'd
say.
be great for the site walk to have a couple stakes on either side of the property to define the 75 feet.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you just want that?
Well, we'd
Well,
like the
that's,
survey.
a survey would do that. So
Okay.
you're doing it anyway.
The other stuff is pretty, would you say minimal? Because you're not picking up, moving the house, changing the house.
We're not disturbing any of
You're
the
just
soil.
adding a deck and trying to squeeze as much out of it as you possibly can.
Right.
Understandable.
Just making it more accessible to go to the water. Right.
You just have to be compliant with the shorefront.
Any thoughts, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm trying to squeeze out these numbers in my head to see if we can't improve. Yeah, that 75-foot marker is unfortunately the,
Right now, I think we have, I mean, if you look at it, right now, we have, you got 137, we got 200 square feet in front of it right now, you know, and that's why I'm saying we're going to remove 51 of it and add 48, which really technically is only adding 16, but I mean, that, to me, I feel like it's simple math. I mean, we're removing less to the water.
We need the documentation.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, not the answer you wanted, but further than you were when you got here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to hearing.
Do we want to schedule a sidewalk?
What do you think?
I'm not gonna get a survey, I'm gonna have a sidewalk, it's 75 feet.
It's on free.
Would be
Okay.
nice.
Okay, all right.
How fast can you get that survey? You said within a week?
Yeah, I'll call Brad tonight. So I'll see. I know he's retired, but he takes us a lesson.
Sometimes,
So,
you know, it couldn't be. So did we want to try to plan a site walk for like February 1st?
Can you be available February 1st, Saturday morning?
Yep.
11?
I will be or she will be.
Does
Yeah,
that work for
when
you
the
guys?
sun is up, yes.
11? 10? 10?
That's good.
You guys make 10?
So February 1st at 10 a.m. That good for everyone?
Perfect. Yeah, then you'll see exactly what the concrete, the uneven, the
Oh,
10
yeah.
steps and the, yeah, it's like really dangerous. Yeah, so that's good. Okay,
Fantastic.
thank you.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'll try to get that all over to you by Friday. You can just email it to them. You got it.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, come on. February 1st. So 10 a.m. Hopper Residential, you're next.
All right. Joe Martin with Sightlines. So since the last meeting, I think there were 3 outstanding comments that we need to address. One was the mailing labels, which I think you received now.
I actually have them right in this file right here.
Bill, you were the one on the last one of the meeting. Do you want to take over?
You're doing fine.
I'm having to go from memory from reading, watching the video, so.
And then the other item was the frontage on the lots, which we did check, and they all do exceed 375. There are 2, Lot 3 and Lot 4, which are close. Lot 3 is exactly 375, and then Lot 4 is 377.12 feet. But the other ones exceed it easily. And then the last item was trying to figure out if the York County Stormwater Conservation District could still review erosion control plans. It took a little bit of doing to get a hold of them, but I was able to, and they do review that. They do have a district engineer that they send these type of projects to for review. We have an agreement in place with them. We are just sending them a deposit check. They said they're roughly 3 to 4 weeks out for review. But we are in the process, and hopefully that's enough to satisfy at least the preliminary application requirements.
Do you remember what the issue with that is?
No, I don't.
The zoning calls for Southern Maine Soil and Water to review these, and they don't exist.
That's right.
So can we use Southern Maine Planning instead? And we didn't know how to answer.
Well, I will say, so the York County Soil and Water Conservation District, I didn't think they still did these reviews. Last I checked, they didn't have a district engineer. They now do, so they can conduct these reviews. So we can use who the ordinance requires.
But I know we've had a lot of stuff done by Southern Maine Planning, and is that okay? We just didn't know where to go.
Right, okay, so it's not a matter of the credibility of the person utilized, it's a matter of we don't have any leeway in our current zoning ordinance to say this person who is in the books is no longer available, you can use this other qualified personnel. Yes,
And I did look in the Brookview subdivision applications,
Yes.
and they did use York County for their erosion control. I went through their application book, and it did say that they used York County.
Yep.
It's just, I had said that to you, I believe.
Yep.
And all of you, that that was who they used, so they were
so it's
doing the job.
When you said York County Planning,
No, the York County Soil and Water.
Soil and Water?
Yep.
Okay.
So it sounds like we need to have the zoning ordinance changed to and/or qualified personnel, qualified professional. And I
Yeah.
think during the circumstances, if that other company is not there anymore.
Yeah.
I think we could make the executive decision due to the extenuating circumstances that
Could always call and ask them if they could do it. If they can't, say, okay.
Yeah.
Just say, can you send us a letter? You can't do it, and go from there.
maybe we just say we request a waiver because of this, and
Yeah.
it's a very logical waiver to be granted, yes.
Quick question, just from my understanding. So the ordinance is requesting the York County soil, fill it in,
Soil and Water Conservation District, or there's another one too. There's a main,
We were unsure as to whether or not you could use them, but you found that you can.
yes.
So the reason you're here tonight is show that you are complying to the ordinance.
Yes, we have sent them the
It's no longer an
plans.
issue.
Yep,
That's why that's okay. Now
And
I
I-
understand.
And I copied Julie on the emails with them, so she saw the agreement in place.
And printed it out.
Yep.
You all have a
Yep,
copy.
yep.
I don't think that the Maine Soil and Water Conservation Commission,
I've never heard of them.
I Googled it, and I don't think anything came up for them.
No.
Um,
So say I've been doing this for 17 years now, and I've never heard of them before.
But I did look up both of them, and the York County Soil and Water did come up, so that's when I went to the Brookview application, and they did use them, so.
Well, okay, I guess we can infer that Maine is a generic term. Anything legal in
Within-
the state of Maine that apply, that would apply.
I would just
County,
comment too, if you guys are going to go back and revise the ordinance at some point, this project is being reviewed by DEP, and part of their review is basic standards, which is erosion and sediment control. So maybe add some language that if the project has reached a level where it's being reviewed by DEP, then maybe that covers that review too. Obviously not for this project, but just in general.
For the future, to make it easier.
Yep.
So we don't hit stumbling blocks because someone retired or business went out or the department's name changed from soil and water to water and soil. Things have happened.
Right.
Stranger than-
Mud. Make mud.
And I know we have a site walk coming up this weekend. I did have one of our surveyors go through because it had been staked out before when we had the last site walk a couple years ago. And he went out there and checked some. Some of the stakes were no longer there, so he did reset them all, so they're all in place. At least the first couple hundred feet going to the woods. I didn't think you guys wanted to trump all the way through the back 40 to.
Not-
But at least you
I
can,
don't wanna put on snowshoes.
no, at least you can see where the road's coming off that,
Yeah.
that main one.
We did the first, I think it was only Cecile and I at the time.
I think, yeah, that was when back 2022.
I believe so.
But we had a large,
We had a
A lot of people
large
there.
public contingent on that,
right.
which was good. We love public input.
Yeah, I think it was because of the road issue,
Yes.
the discrepancy about the abandoned road
And then we had the issue coming up with where was the town line, if I remember that one.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Because there was one monument and we're like, okay, where does the rest of the town line? Yes.
Just to also add that I did send out the sidewalk information to the Alfred Planning Board and Code Enforcement because it is on the
Good
town
neighbor
line.
policy.
Just as a courtesy to let them know about the sidewalk for this week. I haven't heard from them. I don't know if anybody will show up, but we did it the last time as well.
Does it, last time they had a fairly large contingent out there, because they're the ones that are gonna be affected by the goods and services,
Service.
you know, so. Let's keep our neighbors happy. All right, so mailing labels done, frontage exceeds. Stormwater review,
And the third item was,
The erosion sediment control plan being reviewed by York County.
so we think that's all been met,
Yeah, I think those were the only three issues.
and you guys went through the checklist last time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't mark my checklist, so I'm behind the 8 ball on that. So, are you saying that the application is complete and we can schedule a public hearing after the site walk?
We should vote on that, that this is complete.
yeah, so I make a motion that the application is complete.
The preliminary.
The preliminary is-
application. I'll second that.
We've got a motion and a second that the preliminary application is complete. Do we have any more discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Preliminary application is complete. We got the site walk this coming Saturday at
11.
11. I got it on there. Do we want to schedule a public hearing for February 5th?
That is too soon.
That is too soon.
Wait a minute, let me get my calendar up.
Well, that actually wouldn't work for me or the client as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we can push it to the next meeting if that's okay.
No, we can.
We have to go at least 30 days out because I have to have 20 days just to send out the abutter letters. Because of the mail.
So why don't we just push it out till,
So that's gonna.
March
be in
5th.
March.
So the
gives-
first meeting in March, which is March 5th, does that work? And if you need to ask, is it Max or Eric?
Max, but
If
I think
you
that'd be
want to
fine.
Email me tomorrow.
Yep.
And let me know, just confirm the date, March 5th for the public hearing. And we will tentatively put it for that date,
For 5:30.
for 5:30, March 5th. And just confirm it tomorrow to me.
Yep.
And,
so at that meeting, you'll have the public hearing, of course, and then do you further review the project? Like at the end of that meeting, is there, if everything goes right, is there an acceptance of the preliminary application?
if everything is said and done fine in the public hearing, the site walk and the public hearing comes through and no one's yelling and screaming and, they have 10 lawyers present, we would vote on the completion of the application.
And we'd come back for final after that. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Been a long time coming.
Yes.
You've been coming here to these meetings longer than I've been here.
Holy man.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
It was long enough that the latest FEMA maps got updated and they were finally accepted.
Mhm.
Well, we went through, because before the FEMA maps got updated, they were completely wrong for this property. So we had to go through the hard process of getting those updated through FEMA, which is not an easy process. And now we didn't have to do that because we've waited just long enough. It would have been updated on its own. But
And they're still not sure where those flood maps are.
yes, yep. No, I mean, the ones, I'm glad at least they're updated from what they were, because what the ones that were at least the flood plans where this property is, they were so out of whack. I mean, they were hundreds of feet off. I mean, they were drawn on USGS maps that had 10-foot contour intervals, and they were just kind of sketching them with a Sharpie. I mean, that's the little detail they were using back when they first developed those. So,
I pay good money for flood maps in my business.
Yeah.
Luckily, they're supposed to be the latest and greatest.
yes. Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you Saturday.
Yep.
All right, wonderful.
I have a question, if we have a minute to discuss.
Yes.
If a property is non-conforming, I'm thinking of the previous person.
Yes.
Okay, is non-conforming.
Can I stop? Are we talking legal non-conforming or illegal non-conforming? Grandfathered or not grandfathered? The pump house is non-conforming, but it's grandfathered.
No, I understand that. I guess I'm not looking at that piece. I'm looking at the deck area, the front of the house, and the walkways, the concrete going down to the lake.
Yeah.
That area there. You can't make it more non-conforming, I understand that. But if the non-conformance goes down to within 10 feet of the lake, I don't know how far it is, and we move that non-conformance back to 73 feet from the lake, is that still making it more non-conforming, or are we reducing the non-conformance?
You're talking, in this case, it'd be lot coverage. By bringing that from 10 feet to 73 feet, we would be making it less non-conforming. It would still be a non-conforming lot of record,
Correct.
less non-conforming
But
due to lot coverage.
if his distance is 73 feet and he wants to make the deck 2 feet more, is that making it more non-conforming if we're moving the non-conformance back from the water?
You're two different issues.
Okay, that's what I need to
Yeah,
understand.
You're confusing lot coverage and making it more non-conforming.
Well,
if you were to rip up,
what does lot coverage have to do with the non-conforming part of the property? If he's not covering more than the percentage that he's allowed to cover,
Mhm.
and he reduces the non-conformance, even though adding 2 feet on the deck sort of makes it more non-conforming, but we're bringing that non-conformance back.
May I chime in on this?
Sure.
You're changing the footprint. Once you remove,
Yeah.
if you build in place, if you're just replacing what's there, you can stay exactly where you are.
Yeah.
But once
No,
you
no, I
remove it,
understand
you
that.
have to push back as far as you can. So you can't change the size of it, but if you're gonna remove it, you've gotta push it back as far as you can.
All right, well, and I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm thinking of another property that we did. I can't remember if it was the pond around here somewhere. I'm just thinking here, if we're bringing the nonconformance back and we're reducing the nonconformance by 51 square feet, but he adds 48 back, it's still a reduction. Where do we stand with that? You follow what I'm saying?
yes, and it's a confusion between coverage and conformity.
Mhm.
Theoretically, he could rip up all that concrete, all the patio, everything like that, which would reduce his lot coverage, and he could pave the back parking lot.
Mhm.
Fine.
It's a 75 feet.
Yeah.
No, I realize it's
Now-
75 feet.
But the same token, which is why I was
But
kind of.
on the other hand, we've had people expand decks sideways, which makes them more non-conforming, and it's been allowed.
Because they were not encroaching on, they were not encroaching
If-
on the
if you-
setbacks.
If you have a deck that's an L, and that bottom leg of the L is close to the lake, you can expand the deck across the same distance from the lake. And that's more non-conforming. Oh, yeah, absolutely. absolutely.
We gotta look at the setbacks, because most of these lots are not 40,000 square feet.
Oh, I realize.
But
I
if they
just-
have the 75 feet back, and they can stretch their deck out to within the boundaries of side setbacks,
Okay.
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're not encroaching on the waterfront itself.
Oh, yes, you
I-
are. Yes, you are.
I think there's two non-conforming items.
Yes.
The lot coverage, the side setbacks and whatnot. But we have the shoreland non-conforming aspect of it as well.
Mhm.
So we need to comply with the 75 foot for the shoreland. If he were to expand on the sides beyond for more lot coverage, or trying to barter the removal for more, that would be more of a zoning.
Bear with
Okay.
me.
So reconstruction,
So here's,
Standards.
you've got the 75-foot mark here,
Yep.
75. And his current deck comes like such. Now, if he had his deck, even though it's non-conforming, goes out like this, across and back to the house.
Yep.
Okay? He can expand this part of the deck across. And that's legitimate to do. That's been allowed, we've done that, that's been allowed. So what I'm saying is, if he takes out this other section that is non-conforming, and his adding 2 feet here, I almost think that would be a legitimate way to go, because he's reducing it 51 square feet, and he's basically adding back in 48.
But it's
So-
the encroachment.
No, it's not. And it's not, because if that deck is existing, he can expand it all the way across. And that's all I'm trying, I'm not trying to push an issue. I'm
No, I know what
just
you're
making a point that I
It's-
think there's a legitimate way for him to do that. And do it with it responsibly. That's all I'm trying to say.
But it's two different issues. One is the setback and the encroachment on the waterfront,
I disagree.
which the DEP takes very serious, and the other is lot
If
coverage.
his lot coverage, what is it, 20% or 25%? 20%. What, and I don't know if he's at that right now or not. Okay, so that's not an issue if he's not at that. He wants to add 48 square feet. He's willing to take out 51. It pulls the nonconformity back from the lake. To add the 2 feet, I think is a legitimate request. And we've allowed that multiple times.
By your logic, he could do a
when did we,
pier that juts back out because he's reducing the lot coverage.
No, because the only reason that this can be added here is because this nonconformity is being taken out and it's pulled back. So if his deck, he's just going to extend the 2 feet, he's bringing this all back. So I think that's a legitimate thing. We've done that as a trade-off on things on other properties.
This
I
was
think he's
my,
been- I
this
think
was
he's
my,
thinking of the 20% coverage. That's, we've done that
Correct.
trade-off.
Correct, but so what they look at, and the reason I know this is because I've done this as a builder several times, and I've got approval from the town of Lyman for this. If this is existing, this deck is existing here for now, okay? I cannot go closer to the water with it, I understand that, but I can go sideways. And that's expanding it, making this more non-conforming here, but because this is the point that it's measured to, I can extend that across. And I've got permits from the town for that. That's not a problem.
But this is not an existing structure. And he's not expanding an existing
Oh,
structure.
But he is. He's got an existing structure that's way down here by the water. He's willing to remove that. If he removes it and he adds 2 feet here, I think that's a super fair trade, in my opinion.
From another perspective too, as far as water quality goes, pond. If you remove that gigantic concrete impervious surface by the lake, and turn that into a pervious vegetative surface, and you putting that deck up, which can also have vegetation underneath it, you're not technically increasing the pervious surface. You can, by encroaching.
Right.
And you're not increasing the coverage. But you actually improve the water quality.
Right.
The rule includes even the overhang on your roof. Now, that doesn't infringe on the vegetation either, but
Right.
with that, if you want to.
Oh,
You can't put a deck on the top of on your second floor either.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if he's gonna remove that by the water and move everything back, and he wants to add 2 feet here, I think that's a smart trade.
The law does not permit any expansion, including decks, towards the water, wetland
But
structures
that's
already
not
less
a-
than the required setback from the water.
But he's already down to within 10 feet of the water. He's moving it back, so his expansion is within the area that's being reduced for nonconformity, which is a plus. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I hear you.
Totally up, but I wanted to
But the
discuss it.
square footage of the deck is more than what he had before.
It
It's an
is.
expansion.
It-
And it's documented. That it's an expansion.
I think the survey will document.
Yeah.
You know, we'll know.
Inlands, I would love that survey to come back and say, from the closest point, it's
Yeah.
77 feet.
Yeah.
Have at it, knock yourself
But
out.
with this concrete pathway, steps, whatever, down by the water, okay, it says you cannot expand past that. Because he's already down there. He wants to move it back. I think, honestly, if he comes in and asks again, I think he's entitled to it. And I think he's doing us a favor.
That would be the request for the waiver based on most practical, after the site plan review and the neighbors going, we'd have to take the steps that we are required to take. And I'm not objecting to it.
But I'm getting back to what Cecile said, and I understand what you're saying. But if his concrete is here, by adding here is not encroaching more by the standards, because you can go sideways. So if he's down to here, if it was me, I'd come in and say, I can go right down to here because I'm already there. And I would say, geez, I really wouldn't like you to do that. And he said, oh, if I go 2 feet back here instead, what do you think? And it's like, that's a pretty good trade. Just think about it. Thought for discussion.
No, it's logical, but we have to play by the rules presented to us. That will stand up. I'm hoping that he comes back and says, the survey says it's this big. I remember we had another one where it was very close, and they had a drawing that said, oh, it's 78 feet, whatever. And the survey came back and it was like 72. So they ended up cutting their deck, angling their deck back to meet the requirements.
Okay, thank you.
I think, I'd like to see what the real numbers are after the survey.
Yes.
I know that area. I think it's a fairly steep grade. It's kind of hard to pull with a tape measure horizontally
Exactly.
unless you have the survey tools. And
And who knows, now that the water in the lake is a little lower, who knows where it's gonna come out to?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a surveyor. I don't have the required skill set to make a determination.
no, that's right. And then, see what he's got.
But it's good discussion that we're having.
Well, I feel better about it. Just,
No,
I like your logic. I think your logic
has
is fine. I'm just not sure about the laws of the state shoreland zoning and like their statement here, can we override state law?
No, DEP could come and make him take it all out.
Oh, yes.
and we'd be
But,
responsible.
but if he's already non-conforming down to within 10 feet of the water, he's not going closer to the water than that 10 feet. So he is in compliance.
Yeah, like-
That was my point. Anyway,
you know,
I'm ready to
hypothetically,
go.
he
No, I
jackhammers
agree
it.
with your logic.
Yeah.
I've just got a hang up with,
And I
The law.
understand it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
What else do we have? Empty. Oh, that was my packet from last month. All right, do we want to set the agenda for the next meeting?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we want to go over the site walk we're going to do Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're going to want to review that.
It is on the next meeting, 2/5.
Time is flying.
yeah,
Oh, God, yeah.
I wish the summer went much slower than the winter. Seems like 3 months of winter lasts forever, and 9 months of summer is gone in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's for sure.
So we got the site walk for Clapper.
We'll review the sidewalk.
This is stuff Julie asked me.
So the form that I sent to you, Julie and Rebecca, I've got the other pieces that we need to add. It's been crazy 2 weeks. I didn't have any chance to work on it. For the next meeting, I hope I'll have the other pieces, and maybe it's something we can look to implement or use and make it streamlined a little more.
I did open it.
Yeah, no. No, that was great. I appreciate it. And, I was hoping to get more work done on it, but I've been too busy.
Mhm.
So, next week.
Okay. I was reminded that at our annual election, we were supposed to review our bylaws, which sadly we didn't do. So do we want to put that on meeting for next month? Review bylaws, make sure that we're in compliance. Anyone take a look
That
at
would be nice. I hope we are.
We reviewed them last November 1st, 2023. We should have done it 2024. I don't think we've had any changes, or I don't even think we had any suggested changes. But
I don't think we did.
it's clerical paperwork that we gotta do, we've gotta take care of. So we'll look at bylaws. Oh, this is part of that new,
That was the administrative task cheat sheet that Dawn had done
Yeah.
up for
Oh,
for
yes,
us.
the checklist
Yeah,
kind of thing.
you know, the table of, you know, the hardwood, I can't say.
fencing, unity, whatever it is.
How, when to post notices, when to send out the letters
Public
to the
hearings.
butters, where to post stuff. I don't think it ever got past draft form, but we follow it. And I stumbled upon it before the last meeting and brought it out, and with Kelly not here last time, I brought it out to him today.
So we'll look at that, review it.
It's,
If you could send that out ahead of time so that we can have a chance to review it before the meeting.
Mhm.
Then we can go over, make comments, quick changes, and get it on the record books, if we approve it.
it's a good one to follow, and I've been following it ever since he said.
Yes. It's always nice to have something to fall back on to go, this is where we're getting this from. Another thing that came up at the selectmen's meeting, Lindsay has come up with a handbook that the planning board, not the planning board, select board is reviewing. I had a chance to read a number of pages. Could be very helpful to us. But one of the things I would suggest, if you have time, go over it, because one of the things I was mentioning to Julie, we kind of got left out of the conversation. So, I mean, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but with everything being referred to the select board and then committees, the planning board and zoning board of appeals has just kind of been put to the wayside, which I think is an oversight, accidental oversight.
So what is it was put together?
The hand.
Yeah. And,
It's based more towards the committees versus the boards.
right. And I think we were meant to be on there, to be honest. That way there, no one can say, well,
Can you send us a copy? Email?
Is it on the website? Where is it?
it was part of their packet, and it was 180 something pages, but I believe
Oh, packet for their meetings.
for theirs, but ours was page 62 to 130. I saved it. Yeah. It's nicely printed packet, but. Yeah,
Yeah, if you go to the select board, the board,
The last
select
meeting
board,
with the agenda.
the last.
yeah, and it's in there. Like I said, I think it started at page 62 and went almost all the way to the end. Just to peruse it, because I'm pretty sure that it will be coming, we will be held accountable underneath it.
Not if you're not in it.
Unintentional error by omission, this does not absolve. All right. Anything else? Okay, let's go in. Do we want to approve minutes, planning board minutes for January 8th, 2025? I was not here, so I will abstain. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
Move that we accept the minutes.
Do we have a
of
second?
January
Yep.
8th, 2025.
We got a motion, we got a second, any discussion? You always look like you got something to say, Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes approved. And here's the one for Bill to sign, because I was not there to sign.
Kevin rocks those minutes.
Yes, he is. Any new information, updated information on Carlisle Brooks Estates?
I've not heard from them.
Okay. I got a question of parliamentary procedure is absent. Do I note that I was absent or just leave it blank?
I was reading, sorry. Mr. Chair, I actually was reading some information on something like that, and it says if you can prove that you, watched the meeting, made yourself familiarized with the documents, it's like you were here. So
I read that as well.
That makes sense.
And as stated that, I watched it. I think it's up to the board to decide if we want an absent member who has done their research.
I thought we covered this a year and a half, 2 years ago,
Hmm,
and that was fine. And it was specifically from watching it.
Right.
on
Yeah.
the YouTube.
And, right.
My memory's not that bad yet. Some things.
No, I just, cool. Anything else to come before the board? Yes, Kevin.
With all these subdivisions in the pipeline, just wanted to follow up with our previous discussions about the escrow for subdivisions.
Oh, yes.
Versus a bond versus a check.
Right, because actually last night, the select board approved the final disbursement for the escrow. Rock Road.
Oh, okay.
I agree, a bond is what 99% of the municipalities are doing.
Did we ever get anything back from the legal review?
Well, the question is it a charter or is it a regulation? Because if it's a regulation, we should be able to change it.
It's a subdivision
It's
standard.
a standard. on
But yeah, but
subdivisions, so
that's
that
not
could
part of the
change.
charter. I think we can change that.
I think we can too. Ordinances are public, this is a minor typographical revision. That would be in the charter. I think.
What do you think?
No,
You're the one that gets affected the most.
Standards, we should be able to change.
I think a lot of these things that we need to look at is, is it a hurdle that's helpful to everybody, or is it a hurdle that hurts everybody? And that's the way I look at it. And I look that we're here to try to make people's dreams come true if they can do it in a legitimate fashion. So I think we have to be cautious not to throw hurdles up. And one of the reasons I say that is with the California fires, they were talking that the average building permit in Los Angeles is over $20,000 for the building permit.
So much for affordable housing.
Yeah, and that's not the fact that you have to have a certified architect do your plans. Okay? And then you have to meet your erosion, all of that. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I watch them talk about it on TV, and they say that they're going to remove the hurdles. And it's like, why are they there in the first place if they're hurdles? You got to be fair to people. Anyway, that was just my thought.
Yeah, I think they have some other issues they have to deal with there too, as far as seismatic.
Yeah, egos.
Yeah, right, and the engineering that has to go in for pinning and underpinning, and
Yeah. But they.
so you go into it knowing it's going to be expensive to build out there.
Like 40 years ago, there was a recommendation that all new construction houses in California would have misters installed. Never happened. And they were supposed to be impervious roofing. Never happened. Because who wants to have a 1,000-gallon water tank in their garage or wherever that's gonna save the roof of the house? Not that I'm advocating for misters. That's not my purview.
Okay, I'm good. That was my comment.
One thing to the general public, we still have a position open for a alternate planning board member. So if you would like to come and join this wonderful group of residences, please send us an application. Thank you.
Two, right?
Two.
Two alternates.
It's actually a good time, fun people. All right.
Everybody else said?
I'm saying about-
So I will make a motion to adjourn.
What's that?
Just, I'm looking at the,
Yeah, the child.
yeah,
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second?
We got a motion. We got a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
hi.
Meeting adjourned, 6:38. Thank you.
Boy, that's a good time. I like this. Now, if the sun would just come out, we'd be good.
Right.
Needle move up a
You
little
know,
bit.
that's the only downside to daylight